Let's jump into numerology, because you had
Yeah.
mentioned that in reading the Bitcoin chart or looking at the numbers associated with the halvings, um, and maybe block times. I'm not sure where all these numbers are coming from, but you see the repetition of 369 all the time. How is that working, and how has that been sort of predetermined or pre-programmed into the protocol?
But the thing is, this is like when Bitcoin. I'm trying to look for the chart. Like when Bitcoin was created. I mean, I don't know exactly what was behind it, like mathematically, but you can prove right now by looking at it that there was something that it was intentionally done in a way that numerology took a lot of importance. So it was not casual. So 4 years is not casual. The numbers are not casual. If you look at numerology, they actually kind of like start making sense. And I can't do a whole numerology thing here right now, but if you want to dive into it, you will find that there's a lot of I don't say connections between every decision that it was made for the core of what Bitcoin was, the core of it. Like how okay, so how why 21 million? Like 21 is a very important number. It adds to three. He could I read somewhere he could have said 29, but he just like, so for instance, in my case, how I apply that is like I always buy, I DCA every day, and I also buy obviously when there's a dip. So every single time that I make a transaction, I do it with numerology, including the transaction fee. It takes me a little bit, but then I do it. And so what I'm doing is I am aligning my wavelength, because I have a wavelength, to the wavelength of Bitcoin. I'm aligning myself. It's like when you pray and you are going to church and you feel the connection to God with like singing the gospel, like whatever. It's the same thing. So here, let's say that Satoshi gave us this possibility and this potential to be free financially. So I'm going to align with what he created. And part of his creation, it has to do with numerology. So I will, for instance, invite people to read a little bit about numerology and why it's important, because whatever I'm going to say here is going to mean so many different things to people, and people are going to be connected to it. So it's a potential, it's a language, it's like astrology, it's like an archetype. So you connect. So for me, I connected in the way that I decide. Like I'm not so interested in like, oh, he's a genius. Like I'm not interested in that one. I'm interested like, what can this do for me? So
Mm-hmm.
that's when I started applying it in a practical way. Okay, let's try to buy this like this. Let's try to do this like that, or let's try to use the astrology when I make decisions. So that's how I apply this, because it could be very beautiful in a bookshelf, like numerology. Oh yeah, I have that book, and what are you going to do with the book? So I am very interested in the practical part of myths, in the practical part of numerology, in the practical part of harmonics. It's like, what are you doing with it? Because there are tools. They're tools.
Right. So your reading of Bitcoin leads you to this, or would lead people to see that Bitcoin has the potential for liberation, the potential for change, disruption, all these things that we see inherently in Bitcoin, but it aligns with the reading of the chart. Um, but let's now jump into, I guess, the practical implications of that we hear people describing as Bitcoin changes you, or you don't change Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you.
Yeah.
Um, and and I think what I hear from a lot of Bitcoiners is that this interaction with the protocol does lead to feelings, which
Hmm.
then drive thoughts and then human action. And you and I
Yes.
have talked about this in our own lives, um, but maybe you can kind of do a little summary of how you see that taking place and how that kind of relates to this Bitcoin meets you where you're at, and then maybe
Yes.
takes you into the future of
So
where
okay.
you're trying to go.
So this is interesting because it's really like what I would say like the synthesis of many practices. So let's say that for me, if you ask me what money is or what Bitcoin is, or I would always say that the thing that I value the most is my freedom. So everything that I've been interacting with is how can I be free and how can I sustain that freedom. So understanding freedom means that I have to go through a lot of stuff. I can be free financially, but be not free emotionally or physically, because I could be in jail, for instance, and I cannot move. Or I could be not free because my conditioning is making me believe that I should vote for Kamala. I'm not free. No, I'm just giving a joke here. But so, I mean, you can vote for one or the other. I don't know why I did say that. So at the very end, it's like freedom is something that has given me the possibility to query and to inquire onto something that is going to lead me use the tools in a way that is going to give me what I need. Now, let me go back. Hold on, because I lost the train of thought. So can you ask me that question again? Sorry. I just
So from how Bitcoin meets you where you're at, but then drives these feelings,
yes,
which lead to thoughts, which lead you to take action.
Okay, so there's a beautiful saying in the Hindu practice that is like every thought can become an action, and every action becomes a habit, and every habit becomes part of your character, and then that's your destiny. So it is very important to understand that the individual part of choice making, of your free will, it's at stake. That's why I love so much human action, praxeology, and I'm completely taken by Austrian economics. I'm studying further and further because I think that, for instance, the foundations of human action, when you pair them with Bitcoin, I feel that Bitcoiners could actually expand their scope even bigger. Because human action gives you the possibility to understand that it doesn't depend on somebody else. It's not Satoshi who's going to save us. It's not Michael Saylor. It's not none of anybody who's on a podcast is going to save you. If you don't take the action, you're still going to be a serf. You're still going to be enslaved by a system that has been oppressing us in a way because we didn't know better, because that's what our parents told us, to go to school and pray, whatever. I'm not saying that they're good or bad. I'm just saying that the accountability and the agency that is needed as a Bitcoiner is inherent. We are very accountable. I'm not saying that we're not. Now, I do feel that there are certain levels that have not been approached yet, and this is where I feel like I can have a voice, is that I see overall, not only in Bitcoiners, but overall in society, we're very traumatized society. We come from many different wars, many different things, and we're just seeing what's happening right now. Everybody's taking sides because it's based on their own bias. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about like how you were taught and you allow those thoughts to get into, and then you respond or react. So when you become aware of that part in yourself, because you have some self-reflection, then you can use the potential of liberation in another level, where you're not only going to liberate yourself, but you understand that your service, your purpose in life, your authenticity is here for a purpose, to illuminate others, to inspire others. But people will always have the choice to say yes or no. And so the choice of the individual lies within. That's why courage is so much needed, because people are afraid of speaking up. They're afraid of being ostracized. They're afraid of being left behind. But I do feel that Bitcoiners have that, what it takes. Now we need to do deeper work.
Yes.
Let's say that we already proved that Bitcoin can fix it. Okay, we got into the level of the game. Now where is the next level? Where are we going to up this to a place that actually it's not about fixing? And this is the most beautiful thing that I got from all the Austrian economics seminar, and I'm still going. For me, it's such a beautiful manual of how to really collaborate voluntarily in a civilization, when you understand that if you have the freedom and you can actually engage in open market societies, and you respect each other's property rights, like you're not going to interfere what I put in my body, you're not going to tell me how to do with my body, you're not going to like come to my land and take over my things, and we actually collaborate because we want to grow together. This is how Bitcoin fixes it. But we have to understand the principles. And that's why I love that word. The principles is the beginning. Now everybody has a different height of integrity. I can't tell you what your integrity is. If you don't know it, I can't help you. You know what I mean? It's like this is something that again goes back to you, because you have to do the work of understanding where is your bending point. We all have a price.
So you've heard Bitcoin is the new gold rush by now. As world leaders on all sides have endorsed it as the future of money and now you're looking to get started, we'll show you how. It's actually easier than you think. First, go to your nearest ByteFederal ATM and turn your cash to coin. ByteFederal has over 1,200 locations around the country with the highest daily limits. Go to our website, ByteFederal.com, to find the nearest ATM to you. Log in to any wallet, then create an account, deposit your US cash, and instantly convert it to Bitcoin. That's it. We are the only US manufacturer and operator in the Bitcoin ATM industry, and our US-based live customer service is second to none. Go on, give it a whirl, and don't get left behind. Click the link below.